So we have a really amazing story today. Nicole was struggling. She was frustrated, overwhelmed. This is going to be a powerful, powerful story. So my name is Dale Ecuyer, and I help families find solutions to bring health and harmony in the home. We are talking about holistic solutions for children that have focus issues, attention issues, behavioral stuff, just kids that are kind of bouncing off the wall. And I think the saddest thing about it is that they lose their confidence because they're getting in trouble all the time, right, Nicole? So
Yep.
share with us like what you found, what you tried. I know you tried many, many things, and you're like really an expert when it comes to things that you can try in terms of alternative ways. So let us know some of the things that you tried with your son and kind of give us in your words, how he was acting, what his behavior was like.
Okay. So I'll start from a little bit with the beginning of medication. Medication didn't work for us. It didn't help him. It really just made him tired or actually more emotional. So more upset and angry, more extreme emotions. So we stopped trying medication after 6 months. And then we did a lot of exercise, which he still is a runner. So that's been really helpful for him. We did cross country running. So we had him in some more structured activities to try to keep him busy so he would get tired because a lot of ADHD kids, which my son has, they just have a lot of energy. They need to get that out. Otherwise, it bottles up and they get more emotional because they have this extra energy. So we did that, and we kept trying sort of like less TV, less screen time, which of course everyone's like, that's impossible right now because of Corona and all the school being online. But we did try those in the beginning. And then really, I started studying gut health. And I started realizing there were a lot of the negative symptoms could go away when you worked with gut health. Especially, I was studying a lot of the autism research around stool transplants and things like that. The
Yes.
microbiome, where you would kind of take the healthy gut bacteria from a person and you would give it to an autistic individual, and they could get some of the bad symptoms would go away. Some of
Mhm.
the symptoms like the stomach problems and all those types of things. So when I read this research, I said, wait, I know that ADHD is a spectrum thing too. And my kid is ASD and ADHD, pretty mild with the autism spectrum disorder. So I said, why wouldn't we try this gut health stuff? It seems like it's a really great way to get him feeling better. And there aren't any side effects. There aren't. There's no side effects. You're going to go to the bathroom more consistently. That's a good side effect in my mind. So
Mhm.
we started with the gut protocol, and it takes a while when you're taking the probiotics to sort of see the result. So there's another product that we take called Kids Mood, and that's that saffron extract. And the saffron extract is what they've used in Europe, and they use more commonly everywhere except for the US, right? Because I don't know, we just don't do as many of the natural supplementations, the holistic stuff. So
Right.
we started with that, and that really was a pretty immediate effect, especially for my daughter, who's the hyperactive type. Like my son's combined, so he can be inattentive or he's kind of out of it, and then he can have a lot of energy. He can be both. But my daughter, who's really hyperactive, when she would take that saffron extract, we would go to like a tumbling class, or if she had a class where she had to focus, and this is before coronavirus, she would take that little mood packet and she could listen to the teacher better. Like I immediately saw an effect. And
Mhm.
I didn't have any tired. She wasn't tired. It wasn't had to wait to wear off. It was just she took the thing, was a little bit more focused, could listen better, and then that was it. So
Mhm.
when we were taking the gut probiotic protocol plus adding that for when days like I knew he was going to have a long day or he had a long test, we really started seeing good results. A child who could sit down and do homework where before it had been a fight, or a child who was getting like barely getting a C was getting an A. So to me, those type of results, and also just in the home front, like him knowing I want to go running, him knowing I want to take my supplement, he was more invested in his own focus and his brain health because he saw a result. And that's so big for kids with attention. They have to see it's going to make a difference because they're already frustrated that they can't focus very well. They know that their brain works differently. But when they
Right.
feel like they have more control, like so much of medication for us was waiting to see what it would work. What did the doctor say? How do you feel with this? Whereas this one, he has a couple things in the cabinet he knows he can take for immediate effect. Plus, he takes his gut health stuff every morning. He takes his probiotic. All three of my kids do. They have it in their little juice and they have a little routine around it.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, it was like he could go get it. He could try this. He could take it. He could take responsibility instead of feeling like I'm always in trouble with the teacher or I'm getting a bad grade or I don't know what to do with myself because I have so much energy. Now he knows what to do. And of course, he's turning 14, my oldest.
Hmm.
So he's learned more as the time's gone by too, because it's been a journey for the whole family. But
Right.
when I realized how this could change and help, I realized I need, like, and I got our whole family on it because who doesn't need stress resilience and better? I mean, the way the gut and brain communicate. I just did an interview last week with a neuroscientist who was talking to me about actually it's 80% of the communication between the brain and the gut is from the gut to the brain. It's only 20% that's going down. More of it is going up. And
Yeah.
we didn't even realize that there's so much new research coming out around this stuff. And when
Mhm.
you start seeing the results in your household, I mean, the research can say what it wants, but I know that my kids are better, right? And so to me, that was the big aha moment, like, wow, this is really helping. It's helping me. I have inattentive ADHD, so I'm forgetful, right? But I got to remember to take my steps. So I take our stuff and I'm more focused. I'm more clear. I can be more structured and more consistent with enforcing rules and limits with my kids, which is something that's really important for ADHD kids. They need limits, they need love, but they need limits. And if you don't have that good balance, and if you're inconsistent, like with me with my inattentive, I might be working on something and forget that my kid needs to get off the screen time. I have to set alarms for myself. I have to be aware too of how invested I need to be in this. And if I'm forgetful and don't take my supplements, then I forget. And then what? It all blows up in our faces, right? So everybody has to be on board with a program like this.
I love it how you were saying that it gave him back control.
Yeah.
Because kids are so like in tune to their body, like the way they act has is totally directly connected to how they feel.
Right.
So if they feel, you know, obviously if they feel angry all of them like low self-esteem, low self-worth, they're going to do stuff, kind of like to show that they're a difficult child because they've
Right.
been labeled that difficult child. So I love that you said that he it's like empowering for him to know I have some tools that I can use. And
Yeah.
it's not me, it's my gut that's out of whack. It's not that I'm a bad kid, it's that there's a physiology there
Yeah.
that he now fully understands because he can feel it. Like they don't deny what their body is doing and they don't have all the mental baggage like we do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just know like that they don't feel good and they act out. Even like little, 2-year-olds, if they're melting down, there's something not right there. It's not that they're a difficult kid or they're pushing our buttons or whatever.
Yeah.
It's something going on. And 9 times out of 10, it's because the gut microbiome is out of balance. And Dana's with us. Hey, Dana.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, you girl. Has to be on board. Yeah, so
Yeah.
true. It has to be on board. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't need stress resilience, like you said, moms and stuff. So, did you have to alter their diet a lot? And was that one of the things that you tried? And did you find some kind of results with that, or a little bit of results? Or
Sure. So we did diet. So I found diet before I found the gut health connection. So Gwen, this has been like a long process. I blogged about the whole thing since back in 2016. So I can actually go back and read what my thoughts were. And
wow,
when we did some diet changes, it really did help. But the problem is they still were addicted to that sugar, right? They still wanted the sugar and the carbs. And that's typical with ADHD children. I mean, they just in general. And that's because a lot of that bacteria is controlling the appetite, right? So I could do it and I could force it and I could be like, we're going to eat this. We tried to do keto a little bit. We tried to do a lot more fermented foods, but being really extreme didn't work for us. So when I was able, though, to say, let's do the gut health first, let's see if we can alter the gut in general so that you might crave some more of that stuff. It's been easier for them to eat the healthier things because it's a longer process. It takes a few months, right, to really get your gut reset. But you will start craving those healthier things. And even your children, like I was really big this year for 2020. I wanted to make more wholesome meals. So I found a Meal Lime app that I use. It has at least 25 to 30 ingredients. I want a lot of spices. I want fresh food, not spicy, but like healthy food. And 3 days a week, I make these meals and the kids love it. They're eating goat cheese pasta salad with, spinach in it and tomatoes, and they're trying this stuff. That was also a routine that I wanted to establish in my household. But then, two, having that, hey, you guys are doing healthier stuff for your gut. Hey, we know we need to build the diversity. Diversity of foods leads to diversity of microbiome bacteria. So it's a cycle where you'll start to eat healthy and then your body will want more. But until you get that gut health started, they're still going to want the sugar and they're just going to kind of fight the good food, is what happened in my household.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is what happens because when you repopulate the microbiome with the good bacteria, then it's like pushing out the bad bacteria.
Hmm.
We see that like across the board that people lose their craving for sugar because they're pushing out. Because when it's like the more sugar you have, the more sugar you want. It's like your body's
Yeah.
like, give me more, so I can keep that bad bacteria alive and feed it,
100%.
and nourish it. But you want to do the exact opposite. You want to. But I love what you were saying about when you make it so restrictive, it's really hard. Like the kids will resist. But
Yeah,
it,
and they wouldn't eat, and that was a problem, but I didn't wanna be serving mac and cheese every night either. So you really have to be, but if you start doing these other things and also get the whole family on board, be like, "Mommy's gonna do these meals, so I choose 3 a day, 3 a week, and each child helps me one night." So whatever they got to help me pick, you're helping mommy cook dinner that night, and the other ones have to set the table and stuff, and a lot of the stuff is about structure. We've lost some structure, I think, generationally. I feel like our new parenting generation is less because of technology and stuff. We're just less structured in our meal times and stuff like that. And I'm not one who loves structure, but I know everybody thrives when we have it. So doing things like that, like, hey, let's eat some good food and you get to pick the meal. And great. So the night that we have scallops, because my one son loves seafood and scallops, I'm like, you're going to help me make dinner that night. And the other two do the other chores. Those are little ways, though, to get everybody invested in their health and everyone invested in how to prepare food and feel better. And we need that. Our kids need that. They need to feel like they're a part of things and they're not just like, go, go leave mommy alone. She has to work. Cause I know a lot of us are working online at home right now too. So it's hard. But if we can plan those times to really have them invested all around in the family life, I think it's really helpful.
it's a beautiful thing. And the kids are more inclined to eat it.
Yeah.
And then you have that bonding time with the
Yes.
child. I mean, that's what we need, right? Is just more togetherness, more connection, and you're educating them. That's going to go a long way. And I remember when my kids were young, I used to make ice cubes from the vegetable juice.
Ooh.
And I would, and they would laugh. They'd be like, "Mom, these ice cubes are green. It's so good. Don't worry about it." But they would like show their friends. They thought it was hilarious. But they were learning about how health is important. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's so important for your life to be able to just live a better life, just a more calm, just
Yes.
feel better. I mean, health is like top on my list. And
Yeah, because we can't even do our jobs and we can't be there for our kids and be present. And just because you're with your kid in the same room does not mean you're present with them. And that's another thing, like the connection piece. You really have to do that investment. And when I have three, they all want something. So that's why they also the special time one on one with each one
yeah,
is really helpful because
I
they
love
need to feel that helps with sibling rivalry and competition and all that too. And I feel like we have date nights once a month with every child too. My husband and I take one out each. And
it.
that's always nice. They look forward to their date night of the month. So, whatever way you can be present with them. And then when you're talk about the health to us, it's really important too, which is why we connect, right, Dale? Because we both believe in, being healthy, finding those holistic solutions because they're out there. You just have to, take the time to find it. And I hope if you're listening to this, you'll tag whoever got you on here because we have some great solutions.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And that's, I mean, definitely we are both like shouting this from the mountaintop because we know that parents are struggling. And of course they're going to do what the doctors say, but they're not really getting results. And they oftentimes don't really feel that great about doing it because they know it's not getting to the root. And
Yep.
it's not meant to be a long-term solution, medications.
Yes.
It's not something that, so what do you do when you get off of them? But,
Yeah.
and I don't even want to go there, like all the side effects and all that. So,
Yeah.
but I'm not, I'm just saying for parents to know there are other ways, there are solutions out there. And that's what we are kind of like on a mission to do. I
Yeah.
know both of us are. So
Right.
thank you so much for being with me today. You have some ebooks that you're giving out. Tell
Yeah.
us about that.
Sure. So, of course, I blogged about this journey for a while and finally decided to turn it into a book since I just kept getting feedback about, oh, what about this? What about that? The first one I wrote is about switching from public school to homeschool for ADHD kids, and that's very nichey. So, if you don't want to try that, you don't have to buy that one. The second one is about releasing shame. So, it's called Give Grace, Reject Shame, and is about parenting children who are different and how a lot of times you feel ashamed that your child acts a certain way when you don't have the right tools and you don't know they even have a diagnosis. So that is the second book. And the third book is holistic. The third ebook is Holistic Solutions for ADHD, with some of the things we're talking about now, plus a whole bunch of other stuff that I've done over the years to kind of help my children be more connected, be more in tune, be more healthy, and have the best brain health they can so that they can face all the other things that are out there in the world right now. Because we know there's a lot of stress all around right now. So we
Mhm.
want them to be so healthy, their brains to be balanced, their mental health to be good, so that they can face whatever is out there and be ready to go.
Absolutely. And we want moms to take care of yourself as well.
Yep.
For sure. There is just too much on every mom's plate today. So
Yeah.
take care of you also. All
Right.
right. Well, thank you again so much for being with me. This is such important information. Please share this video or tag somebody or whatever you want to do. So thank you, Nicole. You are the best.
Thank
And
you,
you
Dale.
have an amazing, amazing day. Thanks so much for being with me.
Thanks. It was my pleasure, Dale.